Hi everyone, happy Saturday. Hope you guys are doing amazing in this Saturday morning. In East Texas, it is a beautiful, gorgeous day, so I am excited. Granted, summer has hit us, so it is officially warm now in Texas. So, hi, I'm TC Gomez, everyone. For those of you guys who don't know me, I am an indie author. I am also a motivational coach. I'm a personal trainer. I'm a speaker. But above all, my friends, I am a dreamer, which is the reason I started this series. So I'm glad you're joining me here today in East Texas for this really exciting program that we're going to be doing today. Today, we're going to talk all about goal setting. So before we get started, my friends, let me know if you're joining me live or if you're watching this later on. Let me know where you're watching from, where you're coming. Write it in the comments. Let me know where you're at so we can kind of say hi to each other and kind of get familiar. So I wanted to know where you guys are coming from. So before we get started today, because we're going to talk about goal setting, let's do a little recap. So when we started a couple of weeks ago, we started talking about doing it afraid, which is kind of my motto this year. It has become my signature thing. How to achieve things even though you're afraid. How to actually take those leap of faith and taking those leap of faith when you're absolutely terrified. It is the kind of the things that got me started in the writing world. It is the things that helped me to take a leap of faith and say, okay, I know I'm afraid, but I still can do this. So we did talking afraid, doing it afraid. Last week we talked about persistent. Persistent to me, my friends, it is obviously the secret sauce. It is my superpower. So as much as I kind of joke about it, maybe not a sexy superpower, but persistent is what's going to keep you going when things get really tough. This is what's going to help you get to the finish. It's to help you completing. It also is the stuff that helps you, believe it or not, my friend, build that muscle with yourself to truly believe that you can accomplish things. It builds your confidence and it builds your resilience. So persistent is you. So we talked a lot about it last week. This week, we're going to talk about goal setting. So if you're joining and you're watching this with me, let me know how you feel about goal setting. Just write it in the comments. Let me know, my friends. Do you feel comfortable about it? Are you like, I'm pretty good about this? Oh, I'm okay. Or I could need some help. So let me know how you feel about about goal setting. Is this something that you're comfortable with? Or is this something that you're going, not my favorite topic? So let me know what you guys are thinking so we can kind of get to that. And we can start commenting. So it's just a couple quick notes. If at any point in time you have a question, so you're going, oh, I wish you could talk a little bit about it, write me a comment. At any time, I'll go ahead and cover anything you guys are thinking about it. If not, if you're going, I really don't feel comfortable talking about it here, send me a note. Send me to the private page. Don't worry about it. I will definitely go back and reply to you. So just go ahead and send me a note so we can talk about it. So let's get started. So I have found out, believe it or not, and you guys can agree to disagree with me and tell me what you guys think. Goal setting. What is it? I've really realized goal setting, it is absolutely different than goal achieving. I think those are two things that separate. It's kind of like when you decide to buy art supplies. I don't think buying art supplies and using this the same thing. Somebody needs to tell that to my brother, who truly kind of gets a little bit frustrated because he's like, if you're buying it, you should use it. Not the same thing. So those are two separate skills, and I think you got to develop them separate. Today, we're kind of talking about the goal setting as a whole, and then we're going to kind of go in from there. So, Mr. Tom has joined us from Queen. Hello, my darling. Glad that you're joining us. And Tom has lots of goals, so I'm kind of excited that you're here so you can kind of pop in and share with us. What is goal setting, my friends? Let's break it down. What exactly is goal setting? So if you go to Google right now and you type in goal setting, and by the way, I did it before because I needed to figure out what is everybody talking about it. Goal setting, you can find tons of articles, my friends. You can find books, you can find courses, you can find resources, there is seminars, there's anything you can imagine about goal setting right now. But what is it? If you guys really want to know, goal setting as a whole, the basic of it is a process. Simple as that. It is a process to help you create and achieve your dreams for the future. That's all it is. It's as basic as that. It is what is going to take us, believe it, my friends, to give you some helpful steps to get you from point A to point B. So one thing I like about goal setting is once you get comfortable with the process, you can repeat it. I think I call it almost like washing your clothes. Once you figure out how to do it, wash, rinse, dry, repeat. And the more you do it, the faster you get. So that's kind of fun about it. So what is it? What can you do goals about? If you thought about it before, goal setting can be applied to anything. You can do it in the professional world. You can do it in your personal life. Anytime you're thinking about it, like New Year's resolution, you're setting some goals. I'm going to lose some weight. I'm going to get healthier. I'm going to do A, B, and C. One of the things that we're going to cover about, and I'm going to tell you over and over, Is the main difference today is write it down. A goal doesn't become real until you write it down. It's almost like making an agreement with yourself. You're making a pact. If you believe in God, you're making a pact with God. If you believe in the universe, whatever the spirit is, you're making a commitment to yourself and you're putting it together. So that's why it's crucial, and you're bringing it to life. Unless you write it down, you have an entire wish list in your head. And like anything else, if you're like me, I have 500 lists going in my head. Do you honestly think I'm going to leave my future in my list in that way? Because it's going to get lost. It might not become a priority. So when you're thinking about it, I want you guys to think, if you have a piece of paper, some of the tips I'm going to tell you today, write it down. I want you to become real. So what are we going to do? I'm going to be covering this acronym today. So I'm going to put it on the screen for you. If you have seen it before, that is amazing. If you haven't, don't worry about it. I feel like I'm back in the military. We have our own acronym soup. It's a little alphabet soup. Everybody has a different one. This one is called SMART. So it is specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. So I'm going to kind of go over with you what it is. And I'm going to use myself in terms of how I apply this acronym to my life. How does it do it? We have used this acronym in the corporate world to do performance appraisals, to do elements, to do anything. You can apply it to anything you can imagine. So for our purpose, we're going to definitely be using SMART to create manageable and realistic goals. And what are they and how do you use it? So the first thing when you're thinking about a goal, think in your life, what is it that you want to be? Think about it. Where do you want to be 5 years from now? Here's the catch, my friends. Think big. Don't think little small, think really big. And it's going to sound a little conflicting because I'm going to tell you to have manageable and realistic goals, but at the same thing, I'm going to tell you to think big. The one thing I want you to realize, if you're new to the process of goal setting, if you don't feel comfortable, if you're still struggling with it, start with 1 or 2. Studies have said, if you have 3 to more, 4 more, so you're not going to get anything done. So as we go through this, you're going to realize why having less goals is a little easier to manage and to achieve them than having an incredible amount of goals. So think about it in terms of, where do you want to start? Pick an area in your life. If you're thinking your health, if you're thinking your finances, pick an area. If you decided, I want to go back to school, where do you want to be in 5 years? So we're going to start with a 5-year goal. What does that 5-year goal look for you? Be as big as you need to be as interesting. Don't limit yourself. Where do you want to be there? So that's number 1. So what we're going to do is what I call backwards planning. We're going to start with the end state and then work our way back. So when I started my career and my process as a writer, I wanted to be a successful writer. And I wanted to have in 5 years, 20 books. In case you're wondering, if you're giving me that judgy face, like, girl, you've lost your mind. Listen, I literally just pull a number from the sky. I like 20. 20 sounded like a good round number. That's the number that I want. You can pick whatever that means. But I needed something that I could think about in terms of where do I want it to be. So if I achieve it, great. If I got very close, it's exciting. But I needed something to start. So 20 was where I wanted. In case you're wondering, when I came up with this goal, I didn't have a single book. But I knew that I can do some backwards planning to get me at least where I needed to be. So one of the things I thought, what do I want to be? That was my 5-year goal. That's what I wrote down. So one of the things that I realized is when we're talking about goals, we make them so big and some unrealistic that we're boiling the ocean. And then we get frustrated and we stop. Here's the catch, my friends. And this is kind of like the big top secret that I want you guys to start thinking about. If you're still starting in the process of goal achieving, this is your agreement with you, with the universe, with God, with whoever you're doing it. Please keep these huge goals to yourself. What I have found out is we have a lot of people that are goal killers and dream killers, believe it or not. You have people that, in a really good way, with a lot of great intentions, they're trying to protect you. They're trying to help you. They're trying to keep you safe. And sometimes, believe it or not, those are the well-meaning people will be the first ones to kill your idea. Your goal has become very new. This is brand new to you and to everybody else. You don't need somebody if you say, hey, I want to lose 50 pounds and you have not lost a single one if you're just starting out. The last thing you need somebody to be like, what? You honestly think you can do that? So if you're familiar with the Bible, I'm going to give you the quick story of Joseph. Joseph had a dream, he's known for this, that he was going to be one day ruling a nation and his brothers were going to bow down to him. Joseph did the mistake that most of us do. He went and told his brothers. In case you're wondering, brothers did not appreciate it because he's like the youngest, one of the youngest ones. That he's going to bow down to his younger brother? What? Are you serious? It was bad enough that he was the favorite of their father. Now they're going to bow down to him. So it wasn't just enough that he had favor, it was the fact that he shared this. And if you guys know this story, they were planning to kill him, ended up selling to slavery and all that stuff. The biggest thing is you have a goal and you have a dream. At this stage right now, I'm asking you, be careful who you share it with. Make sure that you share with people that are going to motivate you. Make sure that you're going to share with people that can dream with you, that are excited about it, that can actually see this with you. And if you need somebody to be your cheerleader, send it to me. I am here. I am all about building dreams and help you get there. I'm also about to pushing you forward and getting you out of your own way so you can achieve them. So when you're thinking about it, be careful who you're telling your dreams at this very early stage. You don't want somebody to kill them before they even started, because you just never know. They're trying to protect you. They're trying to love you. They're trying to save you. They also don't know what is in your heart. So be very cautious as you share this and as you get ready to, express this to people. So the next thing I needed to know, I needed to define to myself what was successful. I had an idea that how many books I wanted to write. I needed to define success. What is success? And to me, it was writing stories that people could connect with, writing engaging characters, and writing stories that people could enjoy. So I had this concept. So I defined these things, and then I went backwards. I said, okay, what do I want to be in 3 years? So when you're looking at goal settings, you have your 5, you move down to 3, or whichever increments you want. So for me, within 3 years, I needed to figure it out. I needed to be halfway there. Somehow I needed to have about 10 books. Thank the Lord, right now I'm starting 13, great. But it became those manageable. Okay, somewhere in there I needed to be halfway in the middle to make me feel better. Then I needed to break it down to 1 year, and then break it down some more. So you have to understand, when I started this, I didn't have a single book. So once I got down to the very, very basic of week 1, what did I needed to do to reach this huge 5-year goal? Step 1, this is where we started. I needed to understand, because I wanted to write a novel. What is a novel? I wasn't seriously that basic. My step 1 in my goal setting was actually defining my research. I needed to define what was that novel book would look like. So as I went through my research, in case you guys are curious, novels and books are defined by word count, which I didn't know. So if you guys knew that already, thank you. So a novel is any book over 50,000, depending where you look at it, 50, 70, all the way up to 150, so however many words. But they're broken down by words, not pages, which was a huge learning curve for me. So it was all about word counts. And I'm huge about research, so when I get stuck, I'm going to go look it up. So I found a book called Story Grid. So if you guys are interested in writing and you're trying to figure out where do I get started, look it up. It's a workbook. It's written by an amazing, his name is Sean. He's a New York editor for years. Sean does an incredible job of making it simple, taking the complicated and breaking it simple. So this is what Sean said. Books, and I'm going to kind of put the acronym so you can kind of see what he did. So he said 80,000 words, and this might sound very basic. In order to do it, you need to break your book into 3 parts. So he goes, you're going to break it down into beginning, middle, and end. I was like, I'm still following. So, and I had decided at the time that if a novel is 70,000 words, as Sean described it, I'm going to do 80. Why? Because it was an easy round number. Sometimes I should need some simple. We're going to do some math right now, so please don't panic. Just bear with me. Simple math, I needed 80,000 words to write a novel. I said, okay, we got this. So I had an idea for this. So this is how he broke it down. So he said 25% of that is going to be my beginning. So I knew 20,000 words was going to be at the beginning, 40,000 words in the middle, and then my other 25 would be another 20,000 at the end. So it gave me 80. Then he broke it down some more. I'm all about breaking things down as much as you can. So this is what Sean said that actually kind of made life a little easier for me, my friends. So he decided we needed to go ahead and do what he calls potato chip chapters. So if you guys are looking at things, let me kind of give you kind of an idea. So when you're looking at goals, it's how manageable can you make them? So he said, if you're reading a book, he calls them potato chips. Each chapter, he says, is about 2,000 words, which is about roughly 6 pages. I think I kind of mentioned this before. What he says that I enjoyed is, if you're looking at it, look at your reading patterns. He goes, anytime you're reading a book and you have to stop, you never want to stop in the middle of a chapter. If your chapters are too long and you stop, most people don't go back and pick up the book because they don't want to stop midway and then pick it up. So easy, clean chapter. So he said 2,000 words per chapter. So I'm still following. So this is how it came out. I have an 80,000 word book. I need 40 chapters. check. I need 10 at the beginning, 20 in the middle, and then we're going to need literally 10 at the end. So I needed 40 chapters to get me to a whole novel. So I'm like, okay, I think I can do this. So this is how I ended up using my SMART objective. How do I make it specific? And by the way, hi, Miss Icy Joe, who's just joined us. Thank you so much. I'm excited to have you. So this is what we had, guys. So kind of give you an idea when I'm talking about goal setting. This is what we're looking at it. He said, make it specific. I wanted to write a novel. That was step one to my world domination. So measurable, 80,000 words. So it's very specific. Is it attainable? I can do, if you're thinking about it, my friends, writing 80,000 words all at once can be intimidating. I don't care how we put it. I don't care how we say it. Let's be honest, everyone. It is officially a lot of words if you start thinking. If you've never done this before, it was like boiling the ocean. I could not possibly comprehend, can I do 80,000 words? I usually joke with everybody. I have a muse, and my muse usually leaves me at page 30. I don't know where he or she goes, but they're gone. So it's just me hanging out in front of a keyboard, staring at it. But when he said do 2,000 words, I'm like, okay, I can see 2,000 words. I can write 2,000 words. So then when I went back and say, okay, so is it attainable? 2,000 words I can do. Is it relevant? Yes. Every single word I was writing was going to get me closer to, my friends, my 20 books. It was going to get me closer to finishing that novel. So it became very simple. And this is what I ended up. Here's the one to get us all in trouble. If you ask anybody, when do you want to get this done? It seems to be really far away in the future. So the time bound, my friends, is the one that always seems to be the one that gets us very off kilt. Most people, when you ask them, you have a goal, when do you want to achieve these goals? They're not sure. They have a hard time committing to that date. So I had decided I'm going to do this book in 6 months. If you're doing math and you're going sitting here going, okay, DC, you want to do 20 books in 5 years, but you're going to do the first one in 6? Here's what I thought. And this is kind of how I continue this master plan. And I have master plans for everything, just in case you guys are wondering. Here's what I decided. I figure if I could get good at the process, then I can get faster. So that's what I'm asking you guys to do. So when you start doing goal setting, start out small. And as you continue to build, you'll get faster. So you can add more goals to your things. You don't have to start with 5, 6, 7 goals. Why? Because one goal, as you can tell, my goal to be a successful writer has so many little steps that it can be easily to get discouraged, my friends. So when we're looking at it, when I decided to do my master plan and I wanted to start writing, the first thing I did, and we're going to look at it kind of slowly so you guys can kind of see it with me. I knew what my end goal was. I knew what my 5-year goal was. I had an idea of what my 3-year goal. I'm going to halfway through there. I want to have about 10 or so. I wanted to be able to create stories. I wanted to be able to research and be able to create characters that people could connect. What I also figured out, my friends, is the process is all about learning. I had to be very kind with myself. So many times what I see a lot of people is, we are very harsh on ourselves. I have very little patience for me. I am very patient for everybody else. I am extremely kind to people. When it comes to myself, I want it now. And I don't have patience when I'm going to get it done. I want things fast and in a hurry. I also suffer from this horrible disease of perfectionism, which is horrible. So if you're with me and you tend to want everything perfect, perfection tends to make you slow and you never get anything done. Because there's always another thing you can fix. There's always another thing you can research. When it came to the writing, Sean said something that I actually really enjoy in his book, Story Grid, my friends. He said this. He goes, whenever you start something, put on one hat and stick to that one. So when you're writing, just write. Don't edit, don't go back, don't come back and fix anything. You're just writing. Your first draft, if you're looking at it, it is seriously just to write down that story as quickly and as fast as you can. Then you change hats and you become an editor. You go back and you proof it. You go back and you put those things together. But you start with one goal and then you slowly build. So how can you apply it to something else? So let's say, my friends, your goal is for health. You want to be healthy. So, because remember, we can say we can do this across the board. So if your goal is to be healthy, there's a couple of things you can look at. It's like, what does healthy mean to you? So in terms of some people, when they're thinking of health, they think of numbers on a scale. That's one part. I said last week, I give divorce papers to my scale on like a weekly basis. So me and this scale are usually not in the best relationship. It's not very accurate. So I have decided to measure my goals when it comes to health in terms of how do my clothes feel? How does the numbers that the doctors say? What is my cholesterol level? How is my sugar? So how is my blood pressure? So I'm measuring different things besides just my weight. Just because I realize my weight is not going to help me. My scale is not going, it's going to lie to me. I know this, it lies all the time. At least that's what I'm telling myself. So what is that health? So if you're looking at how do I get healthy, what is that 5-year goal? Unfortunately, we do New Year's resolution. You guys all done it before. And you say, I'm going to lose 50 pounds. 50 pounds is a lot of weight. You're talking about a small child or literally a 3-year-old to a 5-year-old. That's a lot, probably older than that. You're looking at a small person. 50 pounds, 20 pounds is a lot. Things that I ask people when they ask me, hey, I want to lose some weight. I was like, why don't you pick a percentage? Why don't you pick, I want to lose so much body fat. I want to lose something that's a little bit more attainable. But if you're thinking, I want to lose some weight, check. I want to get healthy. Healthy can be a couple things. Start eating. You can change your eating habits. Those are things you can manage. You can say, I want to exercise more. Sounds great. I want to become much more, relaxed. I want to have a better mind-body connection with myself. So when you're looking at getting healthy, that has a whole bunch of different layers. Simple things that you can say is, when we're talking about eating healthy, it's as simple as saying, I'm going to cut down the sugars, the candies that I eat, or I'm going to cut down how many times I go out to eat. That is one small step that can have a huge effect, my friends. Or you can say, I want to start exercising more. So remember, I want you guys to write it down, and I want you to be specific. So think smart. So when you're thinking getting healthy, what is healthy? Specific. I'm going to work out. Well, how long are you working out, my friends? What does that mean? 10 minutes, 15 minutes, what does that mean? Measurable. Okay, I want to get healthy and lower my cholesterol. That's measurable, you know what I mean? I want to do 15 minutes a day. I have a rule, and I think I said it last week. I do the 15-minute rule for everything. Just because if I'm saying I never have enough time, I'm always in a hurry, I have so much to do. 15 minutes became like kind of that really easy, manageable life for me. I found it very, very simple. I could do 15 minutes on a bike. I could meditate for 15 minutes. I could wash the dishes for 15 minutes. Everything became 15 minutes. Because once I started, it was okay. It was the getting started that kind of got me. So because I always thought I never have enough time. If I have to do an hour of everything, it's going to kill me. So I became very slowly. I build those little things, same way that I'm asking you what your goals. How do you build them up? So when you're thinking of a goal, getting healthy, break it down into small steps. Break it down in terms of how specific do you want to be? If health involves, my friends, I'm going to eat better, what does that mean? Break it down in terms, what are you planning to eat better? Are you going to add more vegetables a day? Are you going to not eat out? Are you not going to have so much fried food? Be specific. So let's say your goal is, I want to go back to school. So this is something that I encourage everybody, whether you're doing it for yourself, whether you're doing it for a career, be specific. So the first thing you always want to do is, what do you want to study? And sometimes you say, I want to go back to school, and then you're going, okay, so what do you want to do? And then everybody goes, I need a business degree. Okay, so what are you using this degree for? So do some questionings. And this is the part that if you have somebody that can actually be very good and motivating and very encouraging and very loving, this is the part. You don't need somebody to be crushing your dreams, my friends. You need somebody that can be encouraging and can be honest and can help you dream. So what do you want to do with that? Number one, check. I'm going to be realistic about it. So then the next thing you're going to do, in 5 years, I want to be able to have my associates. I want to have my bachelor's. I want to have my master's. Put a deadline. When do you want to do it? Which means is, if you're going to say in 5 years, I'm going to have my associates or my bachelor's, and you're, like most of us, adults working, how many classes can you take? How many classes can you commit? What schools can you do? Do not let yourself get bogged down with barriers of all the things you don't have. Oh, I don't have the money. I don't have this. You'd be surprised how many resources we have available that can help you there. So the first thing is research. What do you want to do? What is available? What steps can you get there? What's your time frame? And does it make a difference? Is this something that is going to be inspiring to you? One of the things that I want you guys to think about goal setting, it has to match your values. It has to match what you want. It has to help you dream. If you just decided, I'm going to get healthy and I'm going to go to the gym because everybody else is going to go to the gym, you're going to last about 2 weeks and then you're going to get bored. So what does that mean, my friends? Let's see, what is it that you want, and how does it match your values, and how does it make you feel? So think about that. Then the next thing we're going to look at it is, if you're going to do a business, what business are you interested in? So one of the things you have to look at it again is, what market are you trying to be? Where you want to do it? How is it going to benefit your life? If you're in a market for a business for people, what services are you going to give to people? Because remember, you are trading services for goods. You're trading services for money. You're trading services for something. Are you adding more of a service to the people that you're selling your stuff than you're taking away? And that's kind of like, think of the Disney experience. I recently heard this model that I love. Disney is the one place, truly, that you're going to give them the money. You're going to beg Disney to take your money, because it's all about the experience. If you go to the amusement parks, if you're watching their shows, if you're watching their movies, Disney's is going to give you an experience that you're going to fall in love with them. And that, believe it or not, they build it up with the TV shows and they slowly progress. And you are officially part of the Disney world, and everything they do is a customer experience. So when you're thinking of your business, what is it that you're going to give your customers so they want to give you their money and they want to come back? So as you start thinking of goal setting, my friends, I know I covered them very quickly. We talk SMART elements. Think about SMART. Is it specific? Can you measure it? Is it attainable, relevant? Is it time bound? So think about that. Also think about, is the value related to you? What is your values? How does this connect to you? And think big, my friends. Dream big. Think about what you want to be in 5 years. I heard that if you're in the same place you were 5 years ago, you're kind of stuck. And that has become something that plays in the back of my mind, that I'm terrified. Am I moving forward? Am I going where I need to be? And how do I get there? So that's kind of where I want you guys to start thinking about it. So let me know what your goals are. If you need some motivation, if you need somebody to dream with you, let me know. Please make sure to share your dreams with people who are going to encourage you. Share your dreams with people who are going to be excited for you. Don't share your dreams with somebody who's going to try to save you by killing your dreams. Don't share them with those people. And then if you have to, just keep them to yourself. Let them grow, let them build. Let your dreams truly take root in your soul. That's really, really what I want you guys to start thinking about it. So let me kind of give you a couple things. So if you're interested in finding out, I know I talked a lot about the books, so you're trying to figure it out. Okay, so to see, where do I find your books, by the way? I know I talked about it last week. You can check out my website. Find out something about my books, find out what the books I've done. I've done everything from fantasy to children's book. What I realized with my goals that became kind of fun is, because I knew I wanted to write, I never actually locked myself into what category. So I let my books and my goals and my values kind of play with each other. So I have a little bit of everything because it makes me happy. So your goals can change, my friends. Be okay with that. And they can change truly to get you to where you need to be. How do you dream? So with that in mind, the dreaming became, I told you, once you pick one up, you get a little faster each time. Something that I kind of evolved from the writing and learning about writing and learning about people. I started a podcast. I talked about it a couple weeks ago, and I started interviewing authors. How is it in the same sphere of my big 5-year goals? I wanted to actually become a successful writer. What I found out interviewing other authors, and I have actually the pleasure of interviewing the amazing Tom, who's online with us, was actually that I got to learn a lot about them. They have some amazing tips, they have some amazing advice, and they were able to kind of get me inspired, keep me inspired, and help me to continue to feed that fuel that I needed to actually keep going. So as we get ready to start, I know next Sunday is going to be Father's Day, so you guys are probably prepping for that. So one of the things I want you guys to start thinking about as you start thinking of your goals, your dreams, your fears, your resistance is, did you write them down? Where are you 5 years from now? Where do you want to be, and how are we going to get there? Next week, we're going to talk about barriers. So here's the topic that sometimes we kind of dismiss. We talked about achieving your dreams, check. We talk about goal settings. Those are very simple, realistic steps. But let's talk about next week about how we confront the barriers that are stopping us from either getting started, that is stopping us from going forward, or that is stopping us from actually taking those next leaps of faith, my friends. So we're going to talk all about barriers, personal barriers, mental barriers, some of the barriers that we truly kind of let ourselves kind of get stuck with, and kind of how we get there. So everyone, thank you for joining me. I am so glad you guys sent me some chats. If you have some questions, go ahead, send them to me. You can put them on this video, you can put them in the comments, or you can decide to send them directly to my page. Send me a note. If you're trying to find me, you can find me on my website. You can send me an email through there. You can send me some notes. I am available. I'm so excited you guys are joining me. And in case you're wondering, I am truly here to support you. I'm here because I want you guys to dream. I want you guys to achieve those dreams. I want you guys to live your honestly best life now and to truly be so much and happy every single day of it that you're here. So thank you so much. Happy Saturday, and I'll see you guys next week. Enjoy, everyone.